Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Baird.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Bridenstine, we appreciate you being here. You know, space exploration is certainly exciting in its own right. And then finding the tons of frozen water on the moon certainly adds to its intrigue as far as a stepping stone to going to Mars. And I think it's interesting that the frozen water can not only furnish water, but it can furnish fuel and hydrogen and oxygen and so on. So very interesting. Purdue University is in my district, and as you know, we've produced 24 astronauts. Among those is Neil Armstrong, Gus Grissom, Lauren Shriver. Purdue has a long history in space and aeronautics innovation. The National Defense Industrial Association is hosting a conference at Purdue University over the summer on the topic of hypersonics. So in that vein, can you give us any more detail about NASA's plan to invest in the hypersonic technology? What you think?
Absolutely. So this is a part of our portfolio, and it's an important part. We talk about, you know, what we do as an agency. We have to get through the atmosphere in order to go to space. Hypersonics are a piece of that. And in fact, we have a lot of the facilities and the capabilities that are resident within NASA that other agencies use for those capabilities as well, for testing and ultimately developing hypersonics. So we are a partner with other agencies at the same time. It's an important part of what we do.
Thank you. Can you also describe to the committee how NASA's partnership with universities like Purdue on cutting-edge research, and it may impact agriculture, and I have a tremendous interest in that as well.
That's it. Yes.
And
So go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask how this committee could be helpful in helping those partnerships grow. So,
great question. Number one, universities help us reach more of the country with the goodness that NASA delivers. I would say, just so you're aware, Purdue, the center director at the Johnson Space Center in Houston, is a Purdue graduate. The associate administrator of the Human Exploration and Operations Mission Directorate here in Washington, D.C. is a Purdue graduate. And forget about the 24 astronauts, they're littered throughout all of NASA. So you should be proud of this university that's in your district. Going back to the ag piece, and I think this goes to Representative Kasten's question as well about what NASA does and why earth science is so important. Climate change is a big piece of what we do. We're the only agency that does it, and we do more of it than any other nation in the world by far, and that's a good thing. What we're learning now is from the earth science capabilities that have been delivered for purposes that weren't focused on agriculture, we're actually now applying that capability to do a number of things, including increasing crop yields, while reducing water usage. We've got a partnership with, going back to the university question you asked, sir, partnership with the University of California Cooperative Extension. And what they're demonstrating is that with our remote sensing from space of the agriculture communities in California, we are increasing crop yields while reducing water usage by 25%, which means that water is now available for rivers and reservoirs and other areas. We're potentially, in fact, saving species that are at risk. And at the same time, we're feeding more of the community than we otherwise would have fed. So crop yields are going up 25%, water usage is down about 25%, and at the same time, we're preserving the nitrates in the soil. So normally, when you overwater, those nitrates erode away. And there's two problems there. Number one, the plants don't have them, which is why the crop yields aren't as high. And number two, it ends up in the water that humans drink, which costs millions and millions of dollars to clean. So the goodness that is coming from the earth science budget of NASA has a lot of application. Now, we're just scraping the surface with these cooperative extensions, with this cooperative extension of the University of California. The goal is to expand this, in fact, nationwide and then worldwide. In 2017, NASA was able to predict a severe drought in Uganda in 2017. And because of that, we were able to mitigate a disaster with millions of dollars from the American taxpayer dollar but it prevented the natural disaster that would have cost dozens of millions of dollars. So we not only saved lives, we saved American taxpayer dollars because of this capability that we have resident in the Earth Science Division of the Science Mission Directorate.
Thank you very much. I'm very glad to hear that.